All right, I hope that's it. I hope we're all coming through loud and clear. If there's anyone out there in TV land, it'd be great if you could say hello. I'm just going to click a few buttons, make sure everything is working. Okay. Just going to move a few things around, a few of my screens, make life a little bit easier. And let's also bring in our friends on Twitch, so that will be sending out notifications to our Twitch friends, hopefully now. Well, let's just check things are going live as they should. Lovely stuff. Just going to bring this over here. That's going to make my life a bit easier. There we go. Excellent. Good. Lots of things are telling me I'm live, so I'm going to take that as I'm live. Wonderful. Well, good evening. Welcome in. A Marco Pierre White recipe this evening, as I've been doing lately. Actually, my Twitch thing says it's lamb with French peas and pomme maxime, which is not true at all, so I need to go and change that. So excuse me doing a bit of admin while we talk. Oh, there we are. Let's open that up and just change the heading. I'm still new to doing Twitch, so I keep forgetting to do things on Twitch. Marco Pierre White, cauliflower cheese. Let's save that and see what happens. Let's hope that all works. Lovely, that says it on the message as well. Brilliant, excellent. Right, so this is Marco Pierre White's cauliflower cheese. It's not cauliflower cheese as you know it. Again, just to bring you up to speed, in case you're not aware for some reason, cauliflower cheese is usually a dish of steamed or poached cauliflower covered in a white sauce and or cheese, lots of it, cheese sauce, some variation of that, baked in the oven until golden, lovely, goes really well with a Sunday dinner. Certainly not one that you have when, as we are in my part of the world right now, it's about 20 degrees C, which is pretty warm. We've had quite a cold spell and now it's coming back up again. So because it's so warm, this is a terrible dish for me to do, but there was a vote about 3 weeks ago or so, and you guys voted that I do the lamb rump recipe. It was the last time I went live with you guys, but this time, this came in second place. So this in second place was this cauliflower cheese recipe. So this is what we're going to do. Now I've had to do a little bit ahead of time, but just a tiny thing. You can just about see it on screen. This over here is my sous vide water oven. The first step you do is to poach a cauliflower for 45 minutes to, well, just to get it cooked, get it started. So that's sort of part cooked. Then we're going to add some onions, we're going to add some cheese and stack it all up and bake it. It's quite a party piece, quite a showstopper. But to get started, I really need to get started on some onions. Now, Marco wants us to deep fry some onions. I'm really not in the mood for deep frying today. So I'm just going to just pan fry some onions, just turning on the little camera there so you can see what I'm doing. Oh, and actually, this onion looks bad. It's all kind of grey in the middle. I've got the worrying feeling I don't have another onion. I think that might be my last onion, which will put paid to any ideas. So I just don't like the look of it, so I'm not going to go with it. I'm going to disappear over there and try and find another one. A couple of things about this feed, about this stream tonight. I try to do something different every single time I stream, try and improve it, I hope. That's the plan. This evening I've got a new camera, so I'm hoping that's all working and all coming through. If there is anyone out there having a little watch, I'd appreciate if you say hello in the chat, just so that I know it's all working okay. That'd be wonderful. I'm just going to rummage around for another onion. Well, I found a red onion. It's not the same, but I don't think it's going to kill me unlike the other one. So I'm just going to slice it up. We're going to fry this off until it's really crisp. As I said, Marco would rather we deep fry this onion, but I'm really not in the mood for deep frying in this weather today, so I'm just going to pan fry over there. And we'll see what happens. He fries them until they're crispy. That's a little bit more difficult to achieve on the hob or stove if you prefer. So we're just going to have to go with it. I'm using a really crap knife as well. I don't know why I use that one. Let's get a slightly better knife out. It was professional, wasn't it? Oh my God. Stuff everywhere. Thank you, Stephen H. Perfectly on your side over on YouTube. Thank you very much. Always nice to know, because you shout into the void and without someone saying hello at the other end, you don't know what's going to happen. Thank you very much. If anyone's watching on Twitch, I think someone is, it'd be nice if again you just said hello so I can be confirmed, because I don't do this very often. It's nice to know it's all working. I'm just slicing it all up very fine. And then we can get frying those. Stephen H, welcome in, nice to hear from you. Not a name I'm familiar with, correct me if I'm wrong, but nice to have you aboard. Bum, bum, bum. Thing is, your dashboard says you one person's watching, which is a bit more demoralising than it is helpful, but you never know. I think it's counting yourself sometimes. It certainly does that on YouTube. I know it does that. It counts one person. Liberalonics, lovely guy who was extremely helpful to me, particularly in getting the multi-streaming set up. So evening Libra. There we go, that's our onions done. I've not bothered with the camera over there, literally just going to fry some onions. You don't need to see that, it's just going on behind me. Just going to put that on a medium heat. Add a good dose of oil. I'm being pretty generous because I do want them to fry. So they're just going to crack on. Whilst that fries, I'm going to while that fries, I'm going to prep the cauliflower, which I'll show you if you missed that bit in a minute. So I'm just going to leave them to do their thing, sort of for as long as possible. Stephen H says, do you ever buy crispy onions for cooking with? I never do. I think we save a lot of time. So that was going to be my backup. I don't know if you saw, I had an onion a minute ago and it was manky and I had to rummage around and find another one. And I've got those, I'll just get it rather than talk about it like it doesn't exist. I am still here, I promise. There we go. So that's those onions that you put in a salad. You often see them at salad bars, or if you go to a Harvester restaurant. Those pre-made ones. Are they perfect? No, but with what we're going to do in this dish, I don't think it's a problem. So if I was at a pinch and I didn't have them, I would have used these. I think they're great. You just had some on a burger for... Sorry, I'll come back again. Libra says, Stephen, I sometimes use bulk crispy onions for dishes like lasagna. Get a bit of extra cooking so they can burn very quickly. And you just had some on a burger for tea. So that's a really good shout, actually, Liberal. I've put these on burgers before. McDonald's have recently had a Philly cheese stack burger on their menu, in the UK at least, and they've definitely got some of these on there, these pre-fried, dried onions. And once they get a bit more moist and warm up, they're really tasty. So sticking them on your melted cheese of your burger, good stuff. So yeah, I definitely recommend it. The Philly stack was very decent. I'm not a huge fan of McDonald's, it's not a snobbery thing. There's just many better options, which you and I, Libra, have talked about many times. But the Philly cheese stack is a good burger. I like it very much. Turn it off for a sec. just spread those out. Right. The other thing about streaming, with the weather we've got at the moment, as I said, is really, really nice. But I've had to shut all the doors and windows, so I'm probably going to start melting soon. So I'm going to have a look at my cauliflower. Now, my vacuum sealer has been playing up lately. As you can see there, it isn't truly vacuum sealed. In fact, the seal is broken, which is a shame. I'll show you that in a sec properly. Let's bring it up on the old mini cam. Oh, no, it's too messy. It's too messy. But the bag is actually punctured. So the point is, you seal up a cauliflower, then cook it as is. So it cooks in its own juices. That doesn't work when the bag splits. I've had some problems with my vacuum sealer lately. So I'm going to have to do something about that. Might have to replace it. So there's our cauliflower. So it's a bit squishy. It's not tender because it's sort of started cooking. And I'm going to finish it in the oven. So speaking of Philly stack, the Philly cheese stack, this is sort of what we're doing here. So what we're going to do, we're going to take our cauliflower, slice it horizontally into steaks, and then re-stack it together, sandwiching in cheese and onion and a little special garnish at the end. So is it warm, cool enough to handle? Not quite yet. We've got time with the onions though. I hope we're all doing well. What else have we had? What else have we been doing? What have you had for dinner this evening? I always love knowing what people have for dinner. I'm going to get a plate ready with some tissue to drain that off. Probably going to end up not being as crispy as we would like because of that. Never mind. Moving them about. Good, good. Cheese steak, not stack. No, Joe, we're going on about a burger that McDonald's does, which is called the cheese stack. And it is a play on the Philly cheese steak. I'm sure it bears no resemblance to it whatsoever. I've never had a Philadelphia one from Philadelphia. I've made them myself a few times, very tasty. Close up shop. Tidy up a little splash of water I've done there. Lovely, lovely. Unless cheese stack is anything. It is. It's a new thing from, well, not new. It's from McDonald's. It's a burger they do sometimes. It's surprisingly good. Very cheesy, very oniony. What that's got to do with a Philadelphia cheese steak sub, I don't know. But it's McDonald's, hey? McDonald's gonna McDonald. Yeah, exactly. Ah. Excellent. I'm going to unplug this and make life a little bit easier for me. I wasn't sure how much of this stream to prepare. There's a waiting part in the middle of about 25 minutes when it goes in the oven, so I'm going to do a quick side salad when we do that. Oh, there's another ingredient as well. Fans, veterans of previous live streams will remember this ingredient, and if you're not sure what it is, well, I'll leave that as a little surprise for you for later on. Right, it's cool enough to hold now, and so I'm going to cut it into steaks. I think I'm going to get another plate. stack those bits on. Clean my hands. Oh, it's a bit wobbly. Let me fix that. Hang on. Oh. Camera's a bit wonky donkey. Ah, that's why. That'll help a bit. Fix that angle. That's better. Happier with that. Right, let's get this sliced up. The humble cauliflower, really underrated vegetable. I love it. I really like it. Roasted, fried, caper type things. Ooh, not quite capers. No, no, no. I think steamed is fine, but I think it does a disservice to the vegetable when it's just steamed. So I'll put this over here. I don't know if that's going to hold together. Let's go with it. Have a little tidy up. See how my onions are doing? They're starting to brown, go a bit crispy at the edges. I'm going to turn up the heat slightly, I think, to really get them going. I'm not caramelising here. I'm taking them straight through to crispy. So I can sort of overcook them. Again, we'd usually deep fry this, but I just can't be doing with deep frying when it's boiling hot outside. I don't know where you guys are in the world, but if you're in the UK, it's pretty warm today. And we prefer to acclimatise, but it's gone from like 10 degrees to 20 degrees in the space of a week. I did grilled cauliflower not long ago. It's great with the charred flavour. Yeah, that's what I like. Geel, dipped in oil and on the flame grill. Yeah, and I'm quite happy breaking it into florets, putting it straight into the oven with some oil and spices and just roasting it for like 30-40 minutes until crispy. I think it comes up really nice then. Really, really nice. So we're going to add some cheese, and I'm going to use, put that back on, not turn it off. It's 25 in Toronto right now. Is that Fahrenheit? I don't know what that is. That's not a lot, is it? 25 Fahrenheit. That's really cold, isn't it? I'm doing about Celsius. What am I doing indoors? So I'm using a Comté cheese, which if you've never had it, it's beautiful flavour, really nutty, it melts really nicely. It's not the cheapest cheese, it's super tasty. It's a bit stinky, the way the best cheeses are. So let's just grate some of that up. My onions are nearly done. What's the betting? I forget. Oh, you are talking Celsius. Oh, good for you, Toronto. And I don't want to talk politics in this sub, but you know, I hope you enjoy Mark Carney. He was a good Bank of England governor for us in the UK or England. So I hope he does well for you and you get what you want. And if you don't, well, there's always the next one. Just waiting to see if you've bailed out of my stream for mentioning politics. Right, they are done. Just going to spread those out so they cool down. There we go, it's very dark. Remembering that they are red onions, so they'll be a little bit darker than other onions. Thank you for taking that in the spirit it was intended, Jael. I still don't know how to say your name, my friend. It would help me if you could put a little phonetic thing in there. That would help me out. Right, when Marco does this, so he's going to make this stack, and then he transfers it to a tray. I mean, that's a bit insane. I would build it on the tray, which is what I intend to do here. So let's have a shuffle around. I think I'm going to grease that tray slightly. I've got some leftover oil here, so I'm just going to use that. Just a little splash, just to help it release later on. Marco must like living dangerously. Well, whatever you think of Marco, bro's got confidence, right? On his recipe. So there we go, big pile of cheese on there. And this is where the cheese, of the cauliflower cheese element comes in. We're just piling it up. Hopefully that's not going to burn my fingers. No, all good. Put that in there. Oh, that reminds me, I need something else. A little hit of cream. Don't really know what that does, but I'm sure it's good. We'll season up. So obviously the I did put some salt in, like jail. Okay, thank you. Online names are weird. Have I forgotten anything? Cheese, onions, cream? No. Okay, and then we repeat the steps. Just going to press it down, add in some cheese. So Jael, you're going to appreciate, again, I'm cooking something really quite hearty and wintry in the middle of quite warm weather. And this is my dinner. A splash of cream. Pepper. Knocking over everything. Oh, I found something in the cupboard the other day. My Sergeant Pepper grinder. I'd forgotten all about it. You know when things get hidden in the cupboard and you forget they exist? I'm going to pop him there. There we go. Get him out of the way of the shot a little bit. Little pinch of salt. No oil. Well, obviously we've got fried onions in there, we've got cream in there, we've got cheese in there, so I don't think fat is going to be a problem. But I will add a little bit of melted butter at the end. I'm going to touch more cheese. I think it could do with it. And I think it can take it. Did you see Fallow's recent video on Pierre Coffman's trotter recipe? I think they had a few advantages over you. Well, thank you, Stephen, for watching that recipe. And yes, I did see that. I mean, for one, they had loads of advantages over me. For one, I think they'd probably worked with the ingredients before. So let me backtrack a little bit for those, catch you up for those that don't know it. Marco's signature dish, Marco Pierre White's signature dish, is a tribute to his old mentor, Pierre the Bear Coffman. Pierre Coffman made this dish famous, and he calls it Trotter's Pierre Coffman. And I've made it as well on the channel. It's bloody hard work, frankly. The hardest part is deboning the trotter, right? You have to get the trotter out. I can't remember what things I've done now. You guys are surely screaming at me. I've forgotten to do something. And then you have to stuff it with a mixture of chicken mousse and sweetbreads. I went on a bit of a rant about how I couldn't get sweetbreads anywhere. I had a really good butcher lined up in the city of London, near where I work, and they rang me up in the morning and said, no, sorry, we didn't get any. And I just ran out of time, and I tried so many places. Or there were butchers miles from me that would send them to me, but then I was paying like £10 delivery. It was just like, this is not worth it. So I went with a firm tofu. Anyway, again, if you're not aware of the Fallow guys, two guys that run a restaurant, incredibly successful channel. Did they just hit 1 million subscribers? I think they did. Well deserved. Their content is excellent. Proper frontline, high-end restaurant stuff. If you're interested in how food works, guys are great. Really good channel. Just Fallow, you'll find it. They did the pig trotters. They had Pierre Kaufmann come over and taste theirs. They also had some old friend of the family, Uncle Paul, who was an ex-chef who showed them how to do extra bits. Plus they've got, you know, years and years of experience of working in a restaurant, which I don't have. I'm not complaining, I'm just saying. They had a couple of advantages, as Stephen put it. I was having a conversation about this very recipe with someone in the comments earlier today. And I said, actually, what I'd do, if I wanted to get to that recipe, I'm just going to pop this in the microwave to melt it some butter. I would take a pork belly. I would make the chicken mousse stuffing. I wouldn't bother with the sweetbreads because I couldn't get them. Probably stud that with mushrooms, cooked mushrooms. I would then layer it on the pork belly and then roll it up to make like a roulade. Bake that in the oven. I think that would be delicious. Much easier to do, and I think you'd get much of the same effect out of it as well. But yeah, that was a busy day at the office doing that recipe. I did that all in one morning, front to end. I think I started at like 8 o'clock and I finished about 1 o'clock. I did nothing but that recipe. That sounds much nicer. I think it's just a bit more modern. I mean, Pierre did make that in the 70s. Marco published it pretty much unchanged in the 90s, early 90s. So you talked about oil earlier. I'm just going to add some melted butter. I'm going to spray some on there as well. I'm just going to let the heat get rid of that last bit of butter. And time for the secret ingredient. Oh. Let's get a spoon. You will have seen me do this with Marco's special tortilla. It's a black truffle. Now they come in a jar, so they're not the best ones. They're not fresh. They're purely, yeah. They make me think of something that comes from a licorice all sort. Did Marco use cow butter in his vegan recipes? It's a great question. So I think, Dee, on his vegetarian cookery course, which is on BBC Maestro, his sort of masterclass type thing, just move that to the side for a minute, I think he did use regular cow butter in those recipes. When he says he went vegan for 9 months, he doesn't say this outright, but I think it was probably butter that brought him back. Because, again, if you've seen other recipes that I've done of his, you'll know that he's quite obsessed with butter. And I genuinely don't think he wanted to live without it. So I'm just going to... Obviously, you can use a butter substitute if you're looking to veganise that recipe. Just going to mince this up real small. Butter is good. Butter is good. Everything in moderation, as I say. You know, I'm having this, and this is literally my dinner tonight. I don't know how much of it I'm going to manage. We'll see. Maybe a quarter of it, maybe half. Just mincing up this truffle. Oh, I've got an itchy nose. It's that time of year. It's literally only food for me tonight. No one else. Go a little bit more fine, I think. I don't want a great big chunk of truffle. Churchill. Everything in moderation, including sobriety. Every quote can be attributed to Churchill, I think. Every quote ever. Right, I'm going to bring that back. I'm going to get a skewer. And Marco does say use a skewer if it looks like it's going to fall apart, and I think this one will. It's just tender, it's just cooked. Proofs. So then we're just going to scatter some of that over the top, pack it in, and that should just perfume it from above. Got a few onions left over. I'm really worried about putting my face in that. That would turn this stream to 18 plus very quickly. Oh, let's have one for fun. Nice. That's my London accent. Truff's blood. I'm not quite London, about 30 miles east of London. I'm now just concerned that I've picked the wrong skewer and it's going to be too tall for my oven. So I'm going to make a bit of noise, I'm going to clatter and move things around. But I'm going to take my cloth with me. So very excitingly, I'm going to go off camera. Make a load of noise. No, that's not going to work. Excuse me off screen a second, guys. Use a wooden one so I can break it off. I'm going to put it in point first as well. AFK, no problem at all, no problem. You've seen the assembly. It's now the reveal when it's cooked will be the interesting part. Take that metal one out now. Right. A little close up for you guys there. So it's cauliflower, cheese, onions, truffle, salt, pepper, cream, all goodies in there. That's going to go in the oven now for about 25 minutes just to really bake off. And that will give me opportunity to tidy up, to have a chat, and prepare a little salad in a moment. So, let's think about where things need to go. Let's scrape all this onto here. I had a weird comment on one of my live streams recently that said, turn that off now, that said, oh, it's really strange that you don't have any music on your live streams. And I thought, not sure I would have music on a food live stream. Is that just me? What do we think? Should I have music playing in the background like I'm some sort of jazz cafe? Not a euphemism. Chucking things in the dishwasher. Leave you out a minute. Shove you over there. I can see the screen a bit better. Marvellous. Hello. Someone in the other room saying hello. Do I need that anymore? Nah. Wash it. Done with my pan. Get rid of the oil. Lovely. So, Let's take stock. I'm just going to wash that down. Cauliflower cheese is in the oven. I rinse that off as well. I don't really want truffle salad. Right. I'm keeping it simple. I've just got a really complex. Do you know what? You can be there like a little mascot. There. Can we get all of you in? Yeah, if we do that. Let's leave you there. Obviously the truffle dish, the cauliflower dish is really busy. There's a lot going on. Very indulgent, very rich. So I just want a clean salad that's just gonna freshen me up between mouthfuls. I did it again. Knocked everything over. So, is it Harrison or Ringo? That's a great question, actually. Is it Harrison or Ringo? Does anyone wear a red jacket? I don't think they do. I'm thinking of the Sgt. Pepper. Obviously I can go and look up what the Sgt. Pepper album looks like. Hello Ganja Time. How are you? Looks like Harrison to me. Ringo had a much fuller beard at that period, didn't he? Again, it's just me, so I'm just going to use, what is this, a red mini Cos. Not one I'm familiar with. Pop that back on, make life a little easier. Just going to pop that in, give that a wash, and the fun bit where you give it a spin. Just give that a spin and I'll leave it to drain while I do everything else. There we go, that's just doing its thing. That's over there. I'll add a few tomatoes in a minute. Let's just make some space. Let's do a quick dressing. Got a lemon I started earlier. Make sure there's no cuts on your hands when you do this. Little lemon juice. Wait for the guy to look up and say, oh, no. Oh, I see, very good, very good. Mr. Time is referring to something that Marco says, which he says, I'm a home cook now. Little olive oil, volleyball as some people call it, when Marco says it. Just a little mustard. Pepper. Salt. You should always generously season salad dressings because you actually eat very little in one mouthful. So it spreads out throughout the whole dish that you eat. That. Let's just get a Babish style whisk. Excellent. We're just going to whisk that to emulsify it. The mustard should help blend the oil and the lemon juice. It'll act as the middleman, the go-between, to encourage them to become uniform. Good. Very nice. I'll put that to one side. I'll dress the salad leaves at the last minute. Let's get a nice bowl, shall we? We can put the leaves in a minute. For those of you who just joined us, I've made a truffled cauliflower cheese stack. It's in the oven. Be about another 10 to 15 minutes. My sister-in-law says garlic aioli at the redundancy. Well, it's just present in the language, isn't it? It's like when people, this tautology is when people say PIN number, which is of course a personal identification number. What are the other ones like that? There's a whole bunch of them, isn't there? Don't need that anymore. ATM, automated teller machine. Daniel E, welcome in. Hello, hello, hello. Thanks for joining. We're currently playing the waiting game. We're just waiting for my truffled cauliflower cheese to finish cooking. So I'm just tidying up. I'll wait for that. I've changed my mind. I'm going to use another little bowl. I'm going to put my salad in there, dress it, and then finish it in that bowl there. Pop that in there. Lovely. Those that I haven't said hello to properly so far, what are we doing right now? I mean, depends where you are in the world, but are you having dinner? Are you having lunch? Have you just finished breakfast? What's going on? Be good to know what you're up to, where you're from, all that good stuff. Daniel E, where are you from, my friend? Turn off a minute. I'm just checking on the oven. In fact, I think I'm going to do something dangerous. And I'm going to take the camera over there. Probably break it. Let's do that. There we go. Okay. Down there. He's just baking away in the oven now. I mean, you've got that mesh thing in an oven, so it kind of a bit, you know, doesn't make for the best video quality, but I think you can get the idea that he's just baking away. So we'll see what happens to him. Let's just put that back down there. Put that there. Lovely. Daniel E, New York City, having a quick snack at the moment. Oh, Daniel. Oh, did you catch me in the last? Did you catch me in the last live stream? I seem to recall your. I seem to recall you now. Yes, apologies. I don't stream often enough to remember some of my regulars. That's on me. New York City, having a quick snack. Well, what is the snack? Don't leave us hanging, man. We're talking about food in this stream. Tell us what you're eating. And it can be as junk food or as healthy or as gourmet as you like. There is no judgment here. We were just talking about McDonald's half an hour ago. A bit of squash, which I understand is something you guys don't have in the States. Sort of, we have it powdered. If it was the lamb one, yes. Yes, that's right. That was my last live stream, the lamb one, yes, I think. I remember chatting now. We did the lamb, did the pomme maxime, had spring vegetables around it. It was a really good dinner, actually. Very nice. Good recipe. Libra likes to be... The P in PHP stands for PHP. I haven't heard that fact in about 25 years. 25 years ago I was working in internet-y, web developy things. So yes, I'd forgotten all about that one, LibreLinux. Thanks for that. The P in PHP. That's tickled me, that one. PHP is a web development language, if you don't know. Generally for working with databases, but more or less. Right, that bit's annoying me. We do niche here. We like niche. Niche is good. Lovely, lovely. This was what I thought about doing this particular recipe, is it did have a bit of dead time here. So we've done our salad, just waiting there, and could do with a few more minutes. I want to bake that through, get a nice roasty colour on the outside of that. Having some trail mix, not in the UK, I hear people talk about trail mix in the all the time on places like Reddit, and I've gathered that it's sort of whatever you want, right? It's nuts and dried fruit and occasionally chocolate chips or whatever takes your fancy, right? It's like a grazing food, which is great, but you know, problem is I can eat a lot of that stuff very quickly, and then suddenly I look back and I've had like 1,000 calories in 4 minutes. Yeah, exactly like you said, nuts, raisins, craisins, a little bit of chocolates, little bits of chocolates. Yes, that's my preferred snack for cinema, actually. I'd much rather have that sort of fruit nut mix than popcorn. Popcorn's all right, but just like after the 10th mouthful, you're like, this is a bit boring. Whereas obviously trail mix, you've got something a little different every time, a little treat in every bite. Lovely stuff. Obviously, if you haven't figured it out, my chat is over there, so that's why I have to remind myself to keep looking over there at you guys and not over at the chat when I'm trying to reply to you. I'm still not a very experienced live streamer. I'd like to do more of it, but I really enjoy doing it, and I love it when there's a chat active, having a good bit of back and forth and banter. But I need to take over the whole kitchen to do it, and I need to have time beforehand to get everything set up. You know, things are just get into place. So I'd love to do more of it. Is there anything out there, those of you out in the real world, that you'd like to, what foods you'd like to see me live stream, live cook? I can't do everything because some things like take forever and don't suit a live stream very well. And I have to pick the recipes I do for that reason. I was even worried about this one for reasons I said earlier, because there's a bit of dead time. Who's the rascal on the counter? Do you mean this guy? Well, he's one of the Beatles, and we were debating on exactly which one of the Beatles it was. The consensus was it's George. It was a birthday present a long time ago, many, many years ago, and it had gone hidden in a cupboard and I'd forgotten all about it. So I got it out the other week, and I think I might leave him in the background of videos. That'd be something for you guys. I'll leave him over here generally, so that'd be something for you guys to look out for when you're watching future videos. He's just a pepper grinder. I'm not sure if I said that, if he's a pepper grinder, if that's not immediately obvious. There. I'm going to wait 3 more minutes and I'm going to check on our cauliflower and see if that's done. So yeah, what else would you like to see me cook? What do you like to watch people cook? I mean, this isn't, I find this category on Twitch and YouTube to another extent isn't very populated. People cooking. There was probably a fad of it some years ago, but when you surf the food and drink channels, they tend to be, in my experience, cakes, or they are like food trucks, food places, which is great. But you know, there's got like a big diagonal camera coming down, and there's like guys bustling about. There's curving cars. It's interesting, but it's no different to having a webcam watching like a bird's nest, right? I think there's no really interacting. Maybe it's because the majority of food people are on TikTok for doing lives. I don't know. I don't know. Cornish pasty, Jason44. You'd like to see her do a Cornish pasty? Love a Cornish pasty. I'd also probably... Cornish pasty, let me recap for anybody that doesn't know, is a rough puff pastry, usually made with butter and lard, cut into the flour, and then diced carrot, swede or turnip, depending on where you are in the world, a little bit of onion, and minced, that is ground beef, baked. So it's like a closed pie. And it's got a distinctive knot over the top of how you push the handle together. It's a semicircular shape, the same as is made all around the world in pierogies, empanadas, many others that I can't bring to mind right now. Most cultures have a version of it. The Cornish pasty is PDO. It's got a protected status, so you can only call it a Cornish pasty if it's made a certain way, and there's no quicker way to offend someone than to do a Cornish pasty wrong. It's like when you do carbonara wrong, it just drives people mad. We call them rutabaga, Swedes, yeah. In the UK, the word Swede changes around the country. Liberalonics, if you're still around, and he's not in the same part of the UK as me, but I know he's further up, what do you call those big cannonball type things that are ruddy coloured and then yellow? Swede, I would call them. But it'd be interesting to hear what he says. I think Swedes are turnips, different from rutabaga. That's exactly what I mean, Joel. You'll have to look it up. So when you've probably heard the Scottish talk about neeps and tatties, that's potatoes and parsnips. But when they say turnips, sorry, when they say turnips, they're what I would call a Swede. It's very confusing. Turnips they're all from the same genus. They're from the same family. But they have different flavours. Rutabagas we call the big ones. Neeps, hello Adam Hill. I think you just followed me on Instagram, hello. Rutabagas are the big one. Yeah, the big ones that are sort of like I say, cannonball sized. I can't think of a better analogy. But ones that are sort of you could fit in that bowl. Really nice mashed. My parents are Scottish, to call them neeps, yeah. But again, the whole turnips Swede thing is mad. Cornish pasty, good idea. Again, we get a bit of dead time when it bakes in the oven. I used to make Cornish pasties quite a lot, and I've got a little gadget, because I've got a gadget for everything, that you can load up with pastry and filling and fold it, and it just crimps it for you. It's not the traditional hand-crimped twisty edge, which traditionally, by the way, if you don't know, Cornish comes from Cornwall, that is the southwest of the UK, and miners would take it, and they would use the crimped handle, the crimped edge as a handle, so they could eat and then essentially discard it because they've got miners' dirty hands. Like many foods in the UK, developed around manufacturing industries, where you can eat it and then discard it afterwards. I believe it's the whole reason the pie was invented, full stop, many, many hundreds of years ago. And the pastry was inedible back then. It was just a way to transport the innards of a pie. Right, I think I'm going to have a look at our cauliflower. Okay, it's collapsed slightly, but I'm going with it. I'm going to put that little camera on. There she goes. Whee! Get that in the right place. This is like, I don't know about you, when you brush your hair in the mirror and you go the wrong way. This is what this is like, trying to find the right place to hold this. So we've got our onions, we've got our truffles. Part of this we've got some subsidence, but it's got a lovely golden colour. I'm going to bring it up to the main camera so you can see it better actually. Over there. This is the decent quality camera. Hopefully that's tried to focus on that. Lovely, there we go. This was what we were trying to make this past hour. Let's take that out. There is a huge, and I mean huge, waft of cheese as I do that. Looks yummy, jar. Well, I hope so too. So do I dare lift it out? I think I'm going to, because it will make for good content. Good use of your money. How do you mean good use of the money? Oh, do you mean the camera? Yeah, really pleased with that so far. I haven't recorded an actual proper video on it yet. I've recorded bits and pieces, but Liberal, thank you for joining in. A turnip is different to a Swede. Turnips are white, purple and Swedish yellow. I told you, depending where you are in the country, we don't know what to call a Swede or a turnip. Let's have that out. Nice. Let's get rid of that. Hello. Let's give you a proper view of that. It's the same jar of truffle from the Spanish omelette vid. Yes, it is the same jar of truffle from the Spanish omelette vid. That was part of the reason to do it. I thought, well, I've got these truffles. I'm never going to remember to use them otherwise. Let's bring that up to the camera so you can have a good look at that. It's got lovely dark, that golden cheese colour that you want in there. I don't know why I've served it on this plate, because I need to eat it. Right. Salad dressing on the salad. Nice, nice, nice. Get rid of that. Lick my fingers. It doesn't matter because I'm the only one eating it. So I haven't got to be polite. That thing's in the way, isn't it? Let's put it here. Lovely. There we go. That thing I've just got in the way of. If you feel like you want to support the channel, feel free to do so in a number of ways. You can just hit subscribe. That does a huge amount. Or follow on Twitch. Equally, you can go a step further. You can press join, and that will give you access to memberships. That starts at 99p a month. I try to put more content up there, but you just get the warm fuzzy glow that you're helping me out quite a lot with things like truffles. You can donate through Ko-fi, which is that service there, ko-fi.com/bigspud. And currently I'm saving up for the only Marco Pierre White cookbook I don't have, which is essentially Marco. It's incredibly expensive. I don't know why. There's very few copies out in the wild, so I'm saving up for it. Bought a turnip a week ago, and it was white purple because they didn't have any rutabagas. But I'm in Canada. If you're after a good shot and your mini cam was in the way. Yeah, well, you know, I haven't got the perfect setup, let's put it that way. The problem was I shouldn't have put the sous vide machine out here. If I hadn't have done that, I could have rotated everything around and have much better, where I could get it on both cameras just right. But again, I'll pop him there so you can have a good look as the hero ingredient. It looks a bit of a mess on camera, to be honest. It looks much better in person. Enough waffle. Let's try him out. Goodness knows. Very tender. Boom. It loses something on the plate, but I bet if you took this to the table and you know, plopped it in the middle, everyone would go, ooh, ah. There's quite a different way to do cauliflower cheese. It wasn't difficult. You don't need to sous vide it. It just makes life slightly easier. Get the rest of that out of the way for a minute. So we've just got our piece. So we can try it. Time for some irons. So I can see some chat there. thought I bought a rutabaga once, but cut it open, it was purple inside, a beetroot. I bought golden beets before to further the confusion. We're getting into beetroot season, which I love, and I love a colourful beetroot salad, splash of vinegar. Link Linebeck, very good to see you, one of the longest supporters of the channel. We're just tuning in, rewinding back from the start. Hope it's going well. See you for an hour from now. Well, you could always skip to the end and get spoilers, couldn't you? And see whether I burnt it all, or whether this was worth it at all. And Kevin Sunil Kalamako, rules. Okay. It's very nice. It needs just a hint of salt, which I don't say very often about Marco recipes. But I think just a finish of salt. And you know what? Those of you that were here when I was assembling it, I was like, I'm not sure what the cream's for. And actually, I would put just a hint more cream into it, just to get a bit more liquid going in and help the cheese puddle. But we've got there lovely cauliflower, the cheese of your choice. I went with Comte, if you remember, one of my favourite cheeses. Those onions are sweet and they're tangy and they're crispy, so they've got some contrast with all the soft textures. Not getting a lot of truffle, but if you recall, it was on the top as a sort of a sprinkle, padded down. Let's have some of this salad as well, because I think it's going to help freshen everything up. That's zingy too. Ooh. I've gone more into the centre now. It's got a much creamier, cheesier taste than the outside was. I'll try and slice a bit off the top. It's got a bit of truffle on. I think the oven has possibly destroyed the truffle flavour. That's okay, truffle could be really overpowering. Maybe I'll just get a big blast of it in a minute when I dig into my next forkful. Joe, I use the golden beets with a fennel bulb and purple cabbage for coleslaw. That sounds brilliant. I love a coleslaw, and I love trying different coleslaws as well. Not enough people do fennel. Really underrated in a salad. As is celeriac with coleslaw. Though I got impression from another video I did that celeriac was really rare in the States, or parts of the States. Jason44, Big Spud doing a spudless recipe. What can I say? There's enough carbs in there. Don't worry. I'm not going short. Daniel E. Fennel is underrated. Yeah, agreed. Do love a good fennel puree. Have I done a fennel puree? I don't think I have. Stores Long goes on special for a good price sometimes. I think because it's not bought very much. Most people don't buy it. I think the supermarket gets one in and they have to reduce it. Channel rebrand, Big Collie. I'm in the pockets of Big Veg. What can I say? Gang, having seen me make this cauliflower, grated cheese, there's no white sauce needed, you know. No cheese sauce required, which is probably the most tedious part of doing cauliflower cheese, the traditional Sunday lunch way. Do you think you'd make this? What do you reckon? Daniel E. Celeriac called celery root here. Yeah, I got that impression. Again, a bunch of people said, I think it's called celery root. Weird that those words just don't cross the channel. The Atlantic. Strange one, that. Sellout? Yeah, complete sellout, mate. But whoever the highest bidder is, big veg, small tomatoes. Yeah, I'm pleased with that salad as a great accompaniment, actually. I don't usually serve things weirdly like that, you know. Just wanted you to be able to see what I was doing. But all on one plate would be nice. Very good. Let me have a bit more while we're here. Splendid. Well, I really enjoyed that. I hope you did too. I really enjoyed making that, and I enjoyed eating it as well. I think I will start winding the stream down now so I can go and finish my dinner, and also I'll be able to open a door and let some fresh air in, because it's getting pretty warm in here as well, because I've had the oven on, I've had the pan on, and it's pretty warm this afternoon. Thank you all so much for joining. Thank you for all the chats. Thank you for popping in, popping out. It's been really good. I hope you have a nice evening. Thank you all so much, and I'll see you all again very soon.